Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I greet you all according to your time and location in which you'll be meeting this particular video. Yes, my wonderful viewers, I am back again with another update. So guys, I have a video here I would like we all to watch. But before then, if you're meeting my channel for the very first time, you're highly welcome. Please kindly do well to like, share and subscribe. Leave your thought on the comment section on this video and let us know what you think about this video, and I will see you towards the end.
Welcome, gentlemen of the press, to this press conference. It's on the presidential intervention to address key concerns of manufacturers and other stakeholders regarding some recent tax changes. You'll recall that in the twilight of the last administration, there were certain regulations and executive orders that were signed in relation to tax imposition on certain categories of goods and services and all related matters. However, in furtherance to the President Tinubu's avowed commitment to constantly dialogue with Nigerians and lend a listening ear to the yearnings of and aspirations of our people, we are here this morning to let you have an insight into the recent executive orders that the president has signed. Now, upon taking over the reins of government, the president promised to run a government that will not make life difficult for Nigerians or asphyxiate or stifle corporate entities in spite of the challenges the federal government. In spite of these challenges, this federal government is irrevocably committed to this pledge. And you all recall that prior to the advent of this government, certain tax changes were introduced in the dying days of the last administration via the Customs Excise Tariff Variation Amendment Order 2023, referred to as the order, published on the 8th of May, year 2023, and the Finance Act 2023, which was signed into law on the 28th of May. That was a day before the inauguration of the new government. Among others, the order introduced new excise duties on single-use plastics, that's SUPs, higher excise duties on some locally manufactured products, including alcoholic beverages and tobacco products, and green tax by way of import tax adjustment on certain categories of imported vehicles. Now, the category of imported vehicles specifically refers to vehicles of 2,000 cc and above. That's the capacity, the engine capacity of 2,000 and above. The Tinubu administration has since noticed that some of the tax policies are being implemented retroactively with their commencement dates, in some instances predating the official publication of the relevant legal instruments backing the policies. This lacuna has created some challenges of execution or implementation. Indeed, the intentions behind upward adjustments of some of these taxes are quite noble. They were designed to raise revenue as well as address environmental and health issues of concern. However, they have generated some significant challenges for and elicited serious complaints amongst key stakeholders as well as in the business community. Let's mention some of the problems we have identified with the aforementioned tax changes. A document known as the 2017 National Tax Policy, approved by the Federal Executive Council of the last government, prescribes a minimum of 90 days notice from government to taxpayers before any tax changes can take effect. That is the regulation. This global practice is done with a view to giving taxpayers and businesses reasonable time to adjust to the new tax regime. However, both the Finance Act 2023 and the Customs Excise Tariff Order 2023 did not give the required minimum notice period, thus putting businesses in violation of the new tax regime even before the changes were gazetted. As a result of this, many of the affected businesses are already contending with the rising costs, falling margins, and capacity underutilization due to various microeconomic headwinds, as well as the impact of the Naira redesign policy. Gentlemen of the press, you will recall that excise tax increases on tobacco products and alcoholic beverages from 2022 to 2024, which had already been approved, are also being implemented. But a further escalation of the approved rates of the current administration presents an image of policy inconsistency and creates an atmosphere of uncertainty for businesses operating in Nigeria. The excise tax of 5% on telecommunication services has generated heated controversy. You all wrote about it. There is also a lack of clarity regarding the status of this tax, just as players in the sector also complain about the imposition of multiple taxes on their operations. We have also seen that the green taxes, including the single-use plastics tax, that's the SUP, and the import adjustment levy on certain categories of vehicles require more consultation and a holistic approach to the country's net zero plan in a manner that does not impact the economy negatively. In his inaugural speech, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised to address business-unfriendly fiscal policy measures and multiplicity of taxes. Consequently, President Bola Tinubu, in fidelity to the pledge to put Nigerians at the center of government policies, has signed the following executive orders. Executive Order 1, the Finance Act, Effective Date Variation Order 2023, has now deferred the commencement date of the changes contained in the Act from May 28, 2023 to September 1, 2023. This is to ensure adherence to the 90 days minimum advance notice for tax changes as contained in the 2017 National Tax Policy. Executive Order 2, the Customs Excise Tariff Variation Amendment Order 2023. This has also shifted the commencement date of the tax changes from March 27, 2023 to August 1, 2023, and also in line with the National Tax Policy. Order 3, the President has given an order suspending the 5% tax on telecommunication services as well as the excise duties escalation on locally manufactured goods. 4, further to his commitment to creating a business-friendly environment, the President has ordered the suspension of the newly introduced green tax by way of excise tax on single-use plastics, including plastic containers and bottles. In addition, the President has ordered the suspension of import tax adjustment levy on certain categories of vehicles. Like I said earlier on, any vehicle of 2,000 capacity, engine capacity and above, which the tax was imposed upon, has now been suspended. So it means that for the meantime, in the interim, the tax imposed on any vehicle of 2,000 cc and above is now suspended. As a listening leader, the President issued these orders to ameliorate the negative impacts of the tax adjustments on businesses and chokehold on households across affected sectors. His Excellency will not exacerbate or exaggerate the plight of Nigerians. In closing, the President wishes to reiterate his commitment to reviewing complaints about multiple taxation and anti-business inhibitions. The federal government sees business owners, local and foreign investors as critical engines in its focus on achieving higher GDP growth, an appreciable reduction in unemployment rate through job creation. The government will therefore continue to give requisite stimulus by way of friendly policies to allow businesses to flourish in the country. President Bola Tinubu wishes to assure Nigerians by whose sacred mandate is in office that there will not be further tax raise without robust and wide consultations undertaken within the context of a coherent fiscal policy framework. Thank you, gentlemen. So we are ready to take questions. I have with me on the table.
President, as much as we are environmental friendly, if we've not provided the alternative, it would be inhuman to tax the only option that we have. And that is what we say, that we suspend it. So pending the time we have alternative for the other use of all these plastics. So it is the view of Mr. President that it should not be a good representation that you've not provided the alternative and then we start from imposing the taxes. And then it's wisdom. That is why we have to suspend this for now.
Thank you, Mr. Zach. As a corollary to that, you all recall that at an interactive engagement a while ago, the president, on climate change issues, the president did use an analogy to explain the issue. Yes, he is for climate change, by all means. This government is for climate change. However, we must contextualize the imperative of climate change vis-a-vis our own peculiarities. This is Africa. Have we ever analyzed how much of our contribution to global warming to now impose on us the onerous responsibility of reducing global warming through climate change dynamics? And what does all this mean? The developed society is telling us that we must reduce global warming, there must be climate change activities and stuff like that, and mechanisms must be put in place either through our industries, reduce carbon emission and stuff like that. However, when you look at the component of pollution, global pollution, those developed societies are the ones contributing about 97% to global pollution. And Africa contributes only 3% to global pollution. And you are now saying we should assume hook, line, and sinker the rhetoric of reducing global pollution by imposing on ourselves very strenuous, putting our necks in a straitjacket, when we do not contribute so significantly to that problem. So, as we are creations of human beings, they say are creations of emotions, not of logic. But some of us are creations of logic. So, logically, a logical deduction of the issue is that those who contribute 97% to global pollution should also make 97% contribution to its reduction. So that is the argument of Mr. President, that you cannot say, for instance, we use our grandmothers and grandfathers use firewood to cook in their villages, in their hamlets. The president asked, how would he go and ask the average grandmother in the village to stop using firewood to cook when we haven't even got the gas spread or distribution or other technical methods of cooking spread all over the country? Are we now going to stop our people from cooking simply because we want to reduce global warming? That is the kernel of the issue. That's why now, for now here, plastics, we use plastics for sundry things, water and all of that. But if you look at the global consumption or usage of plastic, our own contribution is still so infinitesimal as to impose on ourselves that harrowing tax, which also contributes to inflation, rising cost of goods and services with this multiplicity of effects and job creation. Now, if a child is still crawling, you don't begin to put the child on a racetrack. You have to allow the child to crawl and start walking and start running before you can put him on a racetrack. Those guys in the developed societies are already on a racetrack in terms of technological development and in terms of the pollution of the global environment. We cannot share, we do not share the resources and the global money, the quantum of money available in the global financial system. We don't share them equally. And you want us to share the problems equally. It's not logical.
So are we now suspending what the commission would have tried concerning climate change?
No, you didn't. I said our contribution to global pollution.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. What do you think about this video? Please kindly leave your opinion down below. I'll see you again in my next one. Bye for now.